Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Outskirts Overland. Welcome to week, I don't know, million. I say it every week, million. But thanks for being here. I appreciate you all. First things first, I got to let you guys know if you're looking to get into Onyx Off Road and you are looking to save a little bit of money, use the code Global Overland 236, all one word. Use that code and it'll get you 20% off. Off Onyx Off Road. It's all I use. I love it. If you are somebody in the Midwest and you are a Toyota enthusiast, Toyota Trucks of Arkansas is a Facebook group that I very much like and greatly enjoy being in. They're great people. Go ahead and give them a shout. Check them out. And then lastly, KMC Wheels and Rough Country Suspension, Kenda Tires. Thank you guys. So today I'm getting into, the what am I trying to say? The hidden gem of overlanding. So I was going to talk about the hidden gem of overlanding. It's in some ways one of the best things, and in other ways, to some people, it's one of the worst things. But I was going to talk about was the community. So the hidden gem's really the community. And what I've found in my time camping, some traveling, not a ton of traveling, but, and I hear from a lot of international travelers, again, I can't speak from experience here, that there's everybody, that travels, whether it's internationally or just nationally, it's kind of a big deal. People help each other out. And I would say right now, just off the top of my head, I mean, all the people that I go wheeling with, I met at something, whether that something was an expo, an event, through a different friend. But I've made almost all my friends within this hobby from going and doing the hobby. And I would think that's most people. Like, I didn't meet very many. I didn't meet any of my friends that I go with online. Like, I didn't, and it was like, hey, let's go meet up. But by being out and doing these things, I've met people and everybody's super cool. Okay. Now, again, in person. Now, I'm going to get into, other sides of overlanding that, I might have a controversial take, but just caveat everybody, this Outskirts Overland's my podcast, so you're going to get my opinion. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings, but I'm also not trying to not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. So anyways, so when I go to these things, I meet all these awesome people and they've got all these great things to say, share ideas, look at setups, talk about places we went, what we thought about them, what worked, what didn't work, help each other out, like with the different things. Oh, this is going on, or that, or, oh, I need, oh, I forgot this. Somebody will help you out. They'll give you something, help you out, trash bag, plates, forks, whatever. If you're out with buddies that you made, if you're at an expo with other people. Now, and I say that's the hidden gem. And the reason I say that's the hidden gem is because we all live on this in our world. And what I'm holding up for those of you listening is a cell phone. So we all live in the digital world. Well, the hidden gem of overlanding is the personal, physical interaction. And why it's hidden is because at face value on the internet, there is a lot. There's a lot of positive things, but it's such a wide space that you can't cultivate a perfect community online. So you just are getting a conglomeration of people that are in the hobby, not in the hobby, people just trolling. For those of you that don't understand what trolling is, people just essentially heckling digitally through the group, and just talking crap to other people. And it's oftentimes digitally in these groups, not in person, face to face. It's just a lot of crap. I mean, it's so diluted that you can hardly get good people talking to good people in these larger groups. And I mean, and it's occurring, I'm seeing it occurring in YouTube comments, Facebook groups, even on products and, services pages. Like, again, just the internet itself will make it look like potentially there's a lot of gatekeeping within this overlanding thing. Um, which again, and I've said it on other podcasts that I've been a guest on, which just brings me to my next point. Go to some events. If you're not comfortable going out by yourself, and you'll meet people on the trails. If you go to any national forest, I mean, and you're any type of social, you can meet new people on the trail at a campsite. Like, you'll pass people, just be like, "Hey, what are you guys doing? Where are you going? Mind if I tag along?" Done it many times. If that's not for you, go to an expo, go to Overland Expo, go to any of these events where it's like a lot of people, and walk around, meet people, chit chat, bring a beer over, or one of the best things I did is I made pancakes for like 30 folks. One I went to, and I met all kinds of people, and I made them pancakes. Next thing you know, they're making me something for dinner. We're all hanging out, partying, having a great time. Some of these people I still talk to this day, because we share this hobby. But again, get out and go to these things. If you're worried about, oh man, my stuff's not. I've heard it from people I've even asked to be guests that are getting into this hobby. Well, my stuff's just not built enough. X, Y, Z. Go to these events. You're literally, don't let that be a hindrance, because you're just sleeping outside, guys. I mean, don't make it more complicated than it is, because again, the hidden gem are the real people in real life that you'll meet, not the people that don't. If you're asking for advice on a larger Facebook group, chances are 60+% of the feedback you get is going to be very biased and potentially negative. So get out and meet real people that are really doing it. You might not even be getting advice on the internet from people that even use their stuff. This is an ongoing conversation with me and one of my friends, is looking at reviews online of people that don't really test the limits of stuff, but they'll tell you it's the best thing since sliced bread. Yet again, relying on people on the internet. The hidden gem, I will continue to say it like 1,000 times, are the real people you'll meet that are doing it. Don't think just because they got a big Instagram, or just because they've got a bunch of sponsors or whatever, that they're actually out there using stuff, that they're giving you valid reviews, that you're getting good advice. Like, you may be getting trail advice for somebody that's never been on the trail on the internet. They've just seen somebody else talk about it or something, and they're playing the ego game. You never know. So I would just, the hidden gem's really the community. And as we start to come up on what I would call the season of, expos and things, big irons coming up, I'll be there for sure. Come meet me. Come look at my stuff. Come talk to me. I'm extremely sociable. Like, I will talk to you probably more than you want to talk. I'll hang out with you. I'll have a beer with you. I'll eat dinner with you. Like, whatever you guys want to do with me, I will do it with you guys. I mean, I'm not good for much else than talking. So I'll do it with you guys. I'm sure I'll have some other people with me. We are all personable. There's music there. There's vendors there. There's a lot of rigs there. That's Big Iron. Now, if you like to wheel more, literally 2 weekends after that is Rendezvous in the Ozarks. You can go out on trail rides with people, strangers, guided trail rides, meet some people, then go on your own trail rides. I will be there on Saturday at Rito. I'm not going to camp there this year, but hell, if you want to go out with us, come on. Come on. I mean, come with us. Do what I am never telling somebody no, like, hey, I'm there to have a good time. We got winches. Figure it out. No big deal. So really, I wanted to kind of touch on, the personal people that you will physically meet. I have yet to have a bad experience in person. I have seen a lot of things online, just all over the place. And to me, it just doesn't even make sense why anybody's dogging on anybody just in general. I just always, again, and there's like a saying like, if you don't have any haters, you're not even doing anything. But like, that means everybody's doing something because there's so many people hating and debunking and, this is actually the best. Like, what's the best? What you have is the best. What you can afford is the best. Like, do not get caught up in all of this stuff. I mean, I have a lot of stuff, but it's because I saw the need for it. Like, and again, I've gotten rid of a lot of stuff. I've downsized. I've gotten smaller stuff. Realized that wasn't good. Got bigger stuff. Like, again, if you're here, I have a lot of episodes prior to this talking about products, gear, different things. I would encourage you to go listen to them. Some of them are real in depth. And if you are interested in seeing some of the things I'm talking about, this is always on live with the screen share and everything else on my YouTube channel, Outskirts Overland. You'll see it there. You can watch the show too, if that's something you want to do. Now, and again, I felt like this needed to be said because these things are coming up. I'm seeing lots of ads for those two specific things. And again, those are what's near me in the Midwest. But any event that's got, some type of decent sponsorship or it's been going on for multiple years is going to be a good event to go to. People will go to it, and it's going to be a good time for you to meet folks. And those folks, this whole hobby is driving. So you might meet folks from 4 different states, but don't let that deter you because from all those 4 states, most people will drive. You guys can meet up in neutral sites and go places. I do it all the time. Like I literally do it all the time. Meet up with friends from somewhere else. Most of my friends don't even live in this state that I'm in at all. Like not even close. I've got friends Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Kansas, Oklahoma. And that's around me. Now, those states are somewhat close, right? But like still, we're driving to meet each other somewhere. The hobby is definitely driving. So don't be deterred that they don't live next door to you, So that's really something I want to try. And if anybody, and most people that listen to my podcast, I would presume or assume are already probably in the hobby, probably have a group of friends, probably maybe a club of some type, something like that. But if anybody was to stumble upon this, I would highly recommend searching, overland events near me on Google. You'll find something, with different dates and stuff. Sometimes they are a little pricey, but I'm going to tell you, for friends are hard to come by in real life these days, and for the price of that, you might make a lifelong friend, and they're hard to come by, but you're not going to make them in a Facebook group most of the time unless you're just a digital friend, which again, if that's your thing, that's cool too. But the real thing that I feel like as I watch the internet, and I'll be real honest with you guys, I take in so much less content since doing this podcast because now I'm producing content and that takes away of time that I used to have to consume content. And although this may seem like not a lot to you guys, there's still kind of a lot of work that goes into this thing going and happening and getting to you guys and whatever. That's a whole nother discussion. But creating content has led me to consume less content. But very recently, I have been consuming a little more content, kind of just seeing what's going on. And man, guys, it's pretty negative. It's pretty negative, honestly. And from, and quite frankly, I look at the people in the comments and I by no means know everybody that's doing this or even close, but I don't see any of the people that I do know commenting negatively. And I know that they exist in these groups. They may not even be active. I have no idea, but they're definitely not talking negatively to people. I'd like to hope they're DMing people just directly and maybe giving them some good advice as the, glass half full guy here. But make sure you guys really are considering that this is an outdoor hobby. And you could look at it two ways. A lot of people, like, I go alone a lot, or I go with a small group. But some people go, like, I go alone. I've went with a partner, like, so there's two people in my truck, but one vehicle. Some people like that. I go alone, just me sometimes. And then sometimes I go in a small group. Some people like to do the two people, one vehicle. Some people like to do just two vehicles. Some people I know do 8 vehicles, 10 vehicles, 12 vehicles, and they love that big stuff. But nonetheless, this hobby requires you to be out. So it's worth it to get out and meet some other people to do it with, get some ideas, hear some stories. That's really good inspiration to motivate you. I feel like I don't do much of that. I go on my own a lot, and I really just enjoy, quite frankly, overlanding to me is forcing myself to be bored. I'm so revved up all the time that I want to go and be bored and sit down and really have nothing else to do. I'm out of cell service. I want nothing else to do. And I brought up last week, I would like some connectivity for, family stuff when I'm gone a lot of days. But I really am going out there to be bored, and in a positive way, force myself to pick up a paper book, close my eyes and listen to, nature, go to bed early, sleep in, like things that when I'm home, I got 1,050 million things to do, and I'm not bored. I got something to do all the time. There's 10 things I could be doing right now. So that's why I do it. But, and I say all of that to say, but it does get tiring, and there is times where I need to go with people. That interaction, it's fun. It's nice to mix it up. And when you go to these events, one thing I like about the events a little bit, just a little, like I don't go to many, and you could go to many if that's your thing. You could only go to events really if you wanted to. But the one thing I like about them is no matter if my buddies go or cancel, somebody's going. When I go out on the trail to go camping, it is pretty common that everybody that said they were going to go isn't everybody that actually goes. Whether that's less one person, two people, but it never ends up being, even down to the day. The people that are going with you don't end up being the people that said they're going, don't end up being the people that are there for any number of reasons of life. But when you go to these events, there are people there. So you can make friends that did go. And that's kind of a cool thing because, there are times where I want to go with my buddies and we plan a trip and we scout a trip and we're going. And then, Wednesday rolls around and I'm going by myself, or, and I have a friend that I've mentioned multiple times. It's like, again, my group's doing what they're doing now, but I do have a friend that's game every time I'm out. So unless I don't ask him, he'll come. But he also knows I like to go alone too. He goes alone. Like, that's fine too. If we're both out, sometimes we'll meet up on a second day or whatever. But I have somebody that will always go with me if I want them to. And if not, that's cool too. I mean, we're good enough friends to be like, nah, I just want to go alone, and we'll figure that out, or we won't. But still, that's a friend that I made through another friend that I met at an event that I never knew before in my life. Prior to that, never anything about this individual. So I see that, and I was down and I don't want to say talk too much, but I was down at Overland Addict a few weeks ago, a month ago, whatever, talking to Chad. Chad owns Overland Addict. And we were just talking, we talked very briefly about this, but we were just talking about the change in overlanding and where we think the hobby's going. And I think, and I've talked about this at length too, but I think the activity, the hobby, it has lost some of its allure to the younger folks, and I'd love them to get into it. But that being said, the older folks that are doing it, that I feel like are more prevalent currently, And this is not Chad's opinion, but me and him just talked about it. I'm just mentioning him. But, those people are open to talking to you too. Like if you're just starting or just building, or they're more than happy to pass down whatever wisdom they have. You know, I've been in situations where people ask me for advice and then don't like the advice I give them because they have a preconceived notion about a product or a thing or a way. But I just tell them, that's totally fine. But you ask for my advice, I'm just going to give you my advice. Um, you can take it or leave it or whatever. It doesn't matter to me. I'm never going to be the guy that tells you I told you so either. Like I've made mistakes. Okay. Like not even that happens. Okay. Like my truck's in the body shop right now because I tore the whole side of it up. Like it just stuff happens. Okay. Like I'm not perfect either. I'm just the guy with the podcast. So that's what I really think is the hidden gem. And I mean that literally hidden because the community is awesome. The real community, the internet community, nah, nah. I'm sure the good people are in there. I'm sure they're, you know, peeking from above, but they're not real active. You know what I mean? So get out to these events, meet the people. Again, the people at the events took the time to go to the event. So they had to do something to get there. Those are people to meet, you know? I have met some really cool people, some people that you guys watch. And guess what? They don't think they're famous. They're people. They're cool. They'll tell you anything. They'll hang out with you. They are just cool. And just it's awesome. Okay? The community is awesome if you can get out in the community. I bring this podcast as I don't see anybody talking about this currently, really. So I bring this to you guys because if you were to try and get into it, you're going to internet search it. You're going to internet search overlanding. You're going to internet search, whatever vehicle you have, expedition vehicle, expedition overland's big. You're going to search Toyota Tacoma overland, Jeep JK overland, whatever on YouTube. You're going to find all these things. Guys, I cannot tell you enough how if you end up on the internet in a major group or you start reading comments on YouTube, that is not a accurate depiction of the community you will find in person anywhere. Anywhere. I have people all the time. They're like, and this, if you are one of these people, do not be mad. I will go on, but tons of off-road people hate side-by-side people. I personally never had a negative experience with side-by-side folks. Anybody on a side-by-side ever. Never had an issue. Never. Not one time. And sometimes when I see side-by-side people and there's crazy stuff ahead, I'll be like, you could do it, and watch them do dumb stuff. Because side-by-sides are phenomenally, awesomely engineered things. They're not going to drive you home, but they're cool. Like they go fast and do cool stuff. And sometimes people that have them are just straight like daredevils. It's crazy stuff. But I've never had a negative experience with trail etiquette or I've helped them. They've helped me. Like I just have never had a bad experience with them either. I love those people the same, but there is a divide there. But maybe that's off-road. Maybe that's just the off-road folks. I'm definitely like explore expedition overland, like not expedition overland, but expedition, overlanding. Um, like I'm more just out there. I want to camp. I want to see new stuff. Just go places where other people aren't going. Just explore. But the off-road community, and again, maybe not in real life, but at least it appears that way. Side by sides and them don't get along for whatever reason. I don't know. By all means, have your own opinion. But the community of overlanding, international overlanders, I mean, there's people that have traveled 5, 6, 7 continents that you might find at an expo, and you won't know it. You'll search them later and be like, "Oh, that dude was a big deal." Like that dude's kind of a big deal. You don't know. They're just a guy to you. You have no clue, and everybody's just super cool. So Yeah, just pay attention to the hidden gem. Big Iron Overland Rally is coming up. It's got a concert. It is the ultimate social overlanding event because there's no trail riding. You're sitting around. It is the best place to go make friends and meet people. I met a ton of people there. I've went twice, 3 times. I wasn't going to go this year. I offered to the podcast, hey, if anybody wants to meet me, see me, talk to me, I'll be there. My friend Benji said he's going. So me and Benji will be there. I'm sure that means if I'm there and Benji from Newfound Overland's there, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I'm sure we're not the only ones that will be there. And I know there'll be some YouTube people there. There always is, a couple of them. I just don't want to speak for anybody, even if I've seen them regularly. But go, guys. Rendezvous in the Ozarks is great too. Good place to get your feet wet. If you already have real wet feet, like you've been doing it a while, there's other people you could go with there too that have been doing it a while. But those things are coming up. They're the end of September, beginning of October. They're what's around me. Again, Google search for you. But it seems like most of these events aren't in the middle of summer, but tickets and such things are for sale at this point. So I wanted to have this podcast just to say, hey, if you're interested in getting into this hobby, it'd be a good place to go. It'd be a good thing to do. Everybody's super cool. I have seen people recently in groups be like, I'm looking to get into this, blah, blah, blah. And it's just trolls, dude. And I'm like, this is really a cool hobby with a lot of amazing people in it. And the personal me wants to be like, this jackwagon doesn't even, he's probably driving a stock Accord, like just talking shit. So I don't even know though. I don't know, but I just see it and I'm like, you're just deterring people from doing something that is actually really positive. It is really good for your mental health. It is really good to get away at this day and age. It is really good to cultivate, physical relationships with real people. Like this is all really awesome stuff for life, right? And there's no ageism or sexism or anything in this hobby. Everybody's cool. Everybody's cool. Doesn't matter. Like I have not seen a single issue with anybody from any walk of life. It's because we all have a similar, love for travel, camping, whatever, and everybody that does this has a little bit of is a little gearhead, like, and I mean gear is in stuff. Like everybody likes a little stuff. Everybody likes to camp. Everybody likes to be a little more comfortable. Some people like cooking and baking and different things. Like, but everybody's cool because we're doing the thing together. So I wanted to make sure that I beat this horse dead in this podcast. Guys, get out. You might have a bad experience. You may have had a bad experience. They happen, okay? I'm not saying that every experience I've ever had is a good one. I'm saying I've never met a bad person, human being, out on a trail at an expo. Like everybody's cool. So guys, be paying attention to that. If you listen to this and you are new to it, I cannot stress enough, don't base your opinion of overlanding on groups, forums, comments on videos, guys. We're all really cool. Like, and I mean that in the truest sense. Like, I don't have a single friend that isn't just excited when somebody's doing it. We all get so excited. We help people. We've had new friends come into our group, I would say, but like we've gotten close with them. If anybody needs help with anything, we all are helping. I had 2 friends drive I have 3 friends. 2 of them drove another one 5 hours to pick up his truck that was getting a swing out put on it. Another friend helped a guy weld. Like and we don't live close. So again, just really, really lock into the people and that not on groups. Okay. Like, again, I think it'd be great if some of you guys got on some of the groups and were like, who's going to this event? Get a couple people. And if they do go meet them in person. I think it's great. I it's again, I was on another podcast. It's the best advice I could give anybody. Go meet more people that are doing it. If you go to this event and there's 100 people and you meet 3, you're doing great. If there's 10 people and you meet 3, you probably meet all 10 if there was 10. But that's a lot. That's a lot to take in on a weekend or 3 days or 4 days. Exchange numbers, hang out. Like it seems like it's a big community, but it is not. This is a small community of people. This is a niche hobby. And it is its own thing. So, guys, make sure you're getting out there. The hidden gem is the people. It really is. So get out there, get to some events, meet some folks, eat some food with them, talk, go over stuff with them. Like, guys, I cannot stress enough how powerful that is to just it's a breath of fresh air to meet other people. Okay? Like, cannot stress it enough. So, guys, I'll be back next week, Tuesday. Yeah. Next week, I plan to kind of do a review / recap of some mods that I recently got, not so recently, and just kind of go over what I think about them. So I'll go over that next week. I'll explain them. I'll show them to you guys. We could talk about them. My truck has went through, I don't know, in the last probably 6 months or so, has went through a little bit of a change. But I've got a few things that I wanted to touch on. So I'll touch on those next week. Next week will be review week. I am still trying to get guests on. It has been, everybody is just coming back from traveling on the weekend or getting ready to travel, or their kids have something, or they're trying to do a bunch of content because they can't do content as much in the winter. Like, it's just hard right now, guys. So bear with me. I'll get guests. I'm new to podcasting, so I'm learning kind of the ebbs and flows of like YouTubers and content and how they kind of like the flow of content for them. And when it's slow to travel, they fill in with content that they really pushed hard on in better seasons. So it is harder when they can be filming to get them on something like this. So just bear with me. I'll get some people on. Stuff will come. I still am, in considering Starlink or something like that and providing this to you guys, different days of the week when I'm out with friends or at some of these events, interviewing any of you guys, or just, interviewing different people, vendors, curators, people that put on events, like just anybody, so that's still in the back of my mind. So this might turn into a less regular, upload day than it is currently, because now it's always Tuesday or Wednesday. You're going to get it in the middle of the week. It's going to be there. You can listen to it. You can count on it. It may change if I get Starlink. You guys will know far ahead of time. I'll probably not shut up about it, actually. So everybody have a great week. Enjoy the weather. Enjoy getting outside. And go look at some events near you.